Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Crow's Nest Podcast, Episode 6. This is Evok,
TDZ.
and today we're featuring...
Ace?
Yes, that's it!
I did it alright.
We started well. Okay, so, like usual, question first. This is the most important because, it's a way to get you guys invested in the podcast. So, by answering your question, it's a way to be more interactive with the forum. And after that, I think what subject was there this week? There's a regular season that started last week that we can talk about. Because we're 16 game in this season, I believe now.
19, I think, after today.
19, so we're a bit further even. So we're nearing 2/5 of the season. So we can talk about that if it's not too much covered, and we're gonna figure something out. If we have still time remaining.
I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, there's plenty.
So let's start with Clint's question. Thank you, Clint, to ask so many questions for us. We appreciate your help in that podcast.
I feel like half our time is answering him.
Can we go ahead and rank his questions?
Rank the questions?
He likes to compare them, so.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Clint's questions greater than nothing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. I hate when he does that. I'm like, you're greater than nothing. It doesn't make any sense.
Alright, I guess I'm up first.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on the season so far for the Crows, which I'm guessing Ace can answer this one too, since you don't really have a question down there.
Do you want me to go first, or?
Yeah, you can.
Well, I mean, it's been kind of an interesting season for us. It's been one of transition, I guess, is the overarching theme for St. Louis's season thus far. I mean, we lost a lot of really great capped players. I mean, selfishly, I guess I thought we would be better than what we've been so far. I don't know if it's, and I'm not placing the blame firmly upon the shoulders of our rookie goalie, but I don't know if that's the biggest issue or if it's a chemistry thing. We're just not scoring enough and we're not keeping the puck out of the net enough. So overall, I'm kind of disappointed with the season so far, but there's still a potential of it turning around. So I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with that. Like you said, it's a transition. We lost a lot of people, and I can't blame the goalie either because we had the least goals scored in the league. So
that's when you can blame me.
Yeah, well, all of us really. I think there's 4 of us tied with 10 points, which doesn't even scratch the leaderboards. Oh,
that's actually rough.
So the scoring's evened out, but we're scoring I want to say, get the stats up, 2 goals a game or something like that. Goals for, where are we at? 2.06 goals for a game. And you're not going to win games scoring 2 goals a game.
No. Yeah, and really not. It's not really the goalie to blame, like you said. I think you said you had the less goal against, or at least close to, and also your goalie was messed up at the beginning of the season with a mistake in the stat. So it really should not be on on the goalie's fault. So there might have been a little problem with offense, maybe player strategy that didn't work for those kind of build or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's something that's just not clicking on offense, and I've been, running tests trying to figure out something. But so far, nothing's really clicking no matter what. I just don't know if the players just don't mesh well or what it is. All right. Next question. Thoughts on your players' performance?
Ladies first.
Well, this is for TDC, but I guess I can,
Might as well.
Might as well, yeah. My players is performing better than last year. I'm still a bit disappointed by the performance, but at the same time, I'm on the second line only. So I don't get as much as playtime as I could on the first line, and I'm not facing the same pairings, defense, and lines. So for the line I'm on, I think it's doing pretty well. Yes, like I'm 16 points, which is good. No, not 16. I'm 15, which is good for 14th in the league. The only disappointing thing about my players is that I was on a hot start at the beginning of the season, and then I'm just like ice cold right now, barely like having 1 point every 2 games.
Me too.
Where are you, Ace? Like, oh yeah, you're probably in the one that have 10 points or so.
Yep,
I mean, I
we're
think-
both tied.
Yeah, we both have 10 points, but I mean, my season started out okay. I mean, I was on the top line for St. Louis, had power play, penalty kill minutes, everything was rosy. But I got moved down to the second line, and because I thought, based on some sims I did, that would kind of spread some of the offense out and open us up, give us a little bit more scoring depth because we were struggling to score so much. So I figured getting me capped on the second line and opening that up a little bit would help us out a lot, but it doesn't seem to be yielding the results that it did in my sim in our real sim here. So not really super thrilled, but I mean, I guess my build is as good as it could be from the test I've done, but we'll see. I guess I'll go as far as the team goes at this rate.
Yeah, also the only thing to keep in mind when we're doing test sim is that it might work well against one kind of like a pair of line that the GMs are putting when you do the sim, but the line change so often like that. Well, the day after your sim, it can be outdated versus those teams. So.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at TP input from players that aren't capped too. One little change and it
Oh,
could
yeah.
throw everything up.
Yeah, that's true. Like, let's say the goalie get more like hand speed or something. Well, he might perform like a god now.
Yeah, anything can definitely happen. And like speaking of my player, because that was the original question, I think he's doing okay for a defenseman. I'm on pace for probably about 30 points, but at the same time, a lot of it came in like a 3-game stretch where I had a ton of points. And then the rest of the season has been me just like skating in circles.
Yeah, I know the feel. Like, there's some game I look at my player stat and I'm like, I had 2 shot and nothing else. Like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 2 shot. I'm like, you've been on the ice for 20 minutes. What are you doing? Those kind of annoying sims, but I mean, Simon T, we're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah, I mean, I got plenty of first-hand experience with that today. And then last question is your favorite jersey in the SMJHL. I mean, I'm going to be biased here. The Crows alternates, they're gorgeous to me.
I need to say, most of the alternate, I'm like, they are really pretty. Like, this is where creativity come and well, except Detroit actually, because I'm looking at it and I'm just like, oh wow, I don't like this one. Detroit alternate is hurting my eyes.
It's way too much red.
Well, it's
I'm a
not,
sucker for those Kelowna Knights jerseys.
which one? The alternate?
The
Or
green.
Just their regular ones. I mean, that was my first ever juniors team I had a player on, so I'm kind of a little bit biased, but it's
Yeah.
got to go that number one for me, and then I've got to go with St. Louis's because they got the whole gold thing going on with the Bruins. I know you're fond of them, Evok.
Yeah, I like the Bruins. Like, for me, most
And
of
so
them.
it begins.
Most of them are really pretty. Like, they're really nice, except Detroit alternate because they hurt my eyes.
I don't want to interrupt you, but oh my god, the Colorado, everything Colorado, I just can't stand.
Yeah, I don't really care for Colorado's rebrand too much. I like the jersey colors. I just can't stand the logo.
It looks cartoonish, but I guess this is what they were looking for.
I mean, whatever works for them. And I mean, standings wise, I don't think they give a crap at the moment. They're in first.
Right?
Yeah.
Colorado Snuffleupaguses.
Okay, next up on Clint's question. If someone were to take your place as HO intern in 737, season 37, who would you want it to be? Well, this is not my call, but if I had to make a choice, that would be to someone really present on the forum like I am, because I personally like the fact that I approve player fast, despite some people complaining about it, just because player don't sit around for a while wondering, is my build okay? When I personally joined the forum, I created my player like, I think 4 days before the draft. I think I was approved on the draft day, or like the night before, so I was sitting there for 3 days, like still doing everything on the forum, but my player was not yet approved. So I kind of want to avoid those situations where they're just like, was there a problem and I was never noticed? Is someone noticed that I created my player? What's happening with that? So in terms of player activity and presence on the forum, someone like probably like Keegan or which is Connor Tainer, I think, or Antanis would be a really good choice.
I can agree with both of those.
Like, I know there's a lot more that are probably active, but those are the one I'm seeing more often.
Yeah, I would completely agree.
Didn't that Connor Tanner person already like shatter records on like SMJHL CoGM within like 36 minutes of signing up or something like that?
I think it was 9 days, and
Yeah,
we actually have a question on
Same
that.
thing.
Like, it's actually great for him that he got that position so quick. I guess, like, he had really good argument on why he should be picked, so it's really nice for him.
I mean, I have to say, good on the new Montreal management for having the audacity and the balls to do something like that, knowing that they could get the pushback. But from what I've seen from that person around the forum anyway, it seems like it was the right choice.
Yeah. So definitely a good choice from Montreal. Thoughts on the Raiders season? I like my season. I mean, it's going so much better than last year.
Anything would have been better than last year.
Yeah. We actually are second currently in the league. 5 points behind Colorado and only 1 point over Detroit. But like I feel we're like in a good position to win a lot of games this year. I mean, we just had before our game versus PFG, I think. I need to go back to the schedule, but we had a 7 game win streak. Yeah, 7 game before our game against PGF, and even then PGF we only lost by 1 goal, so it could have like gone either way to continue the streak or like we did lose it. So I think the like the Raiders are gonna go far this season, and I'm really hoping for it. So I'm happy right now. I'm happy. Like, we're not at the bottom of the standing for all season.
'Cause she's happy.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your scoring right now, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people with more points than everybody on our team.
Ouch.
Let's
And
not
2
talk
more
about this.
within a point.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we have a good offense, but I also most of our stats, like in the lines, are set to almost full offense, so we're shooting a lot. Sorry for the cat. Like you might hear
Feed
it a
your
bit.
cat.
He's actually fed, and he's actually have water, so I don't know what he want. He want cuddles. So yeah,
You could be
Raider.
the extra guest.
And the
You cannot have our third line winger.
Like, I'm gonna actually like try to give SHL money to my cat now because he's our guest. I don't think it will go well with the grader, but I can try.
Just make another bank account for him.
Yep. Next question is, why is Ted Glass better than you? That's actually a really good question. Well, like, I'm not upset he's doing well because, like, I think everyone in my team deserve it. We deserve to be doing well. I'm selfish, and I think we deserve it after last season. Despite being in the bottom of the standing all year last year, we didn't give up. We keep updating. No one left, or mostly, I think we had one player that turned inactive in all our players. So, in my opinion, it's really good that we're doing so well right now, because I feel like we get what we deserve. And Ted Lass is actually surprisingly doing exceptionally well with 1 goal and 15 assists. So he's second in points in my team. And I guess at this point he's just at the right place at the right moment as a defenseman, passing to the right person to get the assist. So I'm quite happy with him. Like, I love that he gets so much assist and help our team that much. Like,
looking at his stats, yeah, I mean, 16 points.
Yeah.
It's really good. I wish I had 24 minutes a game. That would be nice.
Yeah, he's on like every unit, I think. So it doesn't. I think he's double shifted and on every unit possible. So, is he on every unit? Yeah, he's on every unit.
Like that.
User entered your channel.
Just give me like 80% time and see how that works.
Sound muted.
Preach.
Okay, so the
Next
last well, this is not really a question. The next question, actual question, is pet peeves with the SHL site and the people on the site. So just so I'm sure, pet peeve is something like that I hate, right?
Yeah,
it's something that really annoys you, gets under your skin.
Small quirks, stuff like that.
Okay. So I'm gonna start because I encountered this issue. No, it's not about you, Ace. Don't worry. Something that annoys me is some question like people has that are just basically written in front of them, or people that are impatient. So well, it's actually about you a bit, Ace, in the end. Like, everyone on this website is human, and we have a life outside. Well, most of us have a life outside of it. So when I see players just like bothering someone, like asking, when are you grade this? When are you gonna bonus that? When is this happening? Why is it not started yet? It's like, dude, relax, man. This person probably have like tons of things to do. So like, it's not gonna kill you that it's coming in a week instead of now.
While I hear you, and I totally agree, a lot of the times that's definitely a valid concern. From my time in the site, it's that there's been a lot of people that accept roles and jobs that they're in no way, shape, or form prepared to commit and fulfill to their complete duties, and oftentimes people can kind of forget about things. So when I do that kind of stuff, it's not to be an annoying piece of garbage. It's to let people know, hey, you said you were going to have this thing done by then. I don't want you to think that, you know, I'm trying to beat your door down or anything, but I also don't want you to forget it too. So I hope that people take my kind of playful ribbing as friendly reminders rather than get your shit done because I want it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, I can understand many reasons to do it, but like, when I see people do it, like, once a week is like, it's fine. Like, it sounds good to do this once a week. But when it's at the point where it's like every day I see someone reminding someone of something, it's like,
oh, then you just get to trolling standby,
yeah.
and that's I mean, it depends on who it is. I can get a good laugh out of it if it's somebody like Eggy, but I don't know about anybody else.
So what about you guys?
Oh, I'm trying to think of one. So Ace can go.
Honestly, the biggest thing about the SHL that kind of grinds my gears is the people that act like everything's a goddamn meme. Every single thing has to be a goddamn meme. It's like people can't just like talk normally or have a good conversation. It's got to be some kind of fake joke or anything. I mean, granted, I know we're all here to have fun, but that doesn't mean every once in a while we can't have like a intelligent discussion about things without like making a stupid joke.
Like the hot dog thing?
Sure, that, and I can't really no examples are jumping out at me, but essentially the Texas Renegades jump out at me. That's my point.
The Texas Renegade?
Oh yeah, the meme team.
Yeah, I mean, they drafted the perfect person.
Who did the
They
draft?
got CK.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm actually not even that much aware of like meme going around. Like I know we have a few, but like I didn't think it was that big on the website, to be honest.
Oh, it's always.
Certain discords can get pretty bad.
Okay.
I mean, me and Ace share one that gets a little memey at times.
Yeah, there's definitely the memes per 60 in our Discord is definitely a little on the elevated side.
But whatever works. I mean, it stays active, so there's somewhat of a positive there. But it is annoying. A lot of times when it just starts going, I'll just mute the channel and go about my business and come back later when they're done.
Okay. Yeah, I can see the point. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm eating, so
I'm stuffing
that's
my
fine.
face too, so
I just got a chocolate bar and it's so good.
I have some pizza here.
I got nothing right now.
Oh,
What about your
Portuguese.
16-inch burrito that you're?
I already
Snacking
finished
on.
that. I ate the
Wow.
other half today for
Nice.
lunch. Because I paid like $15 for that giant thing, and I was going to have that for dinner and lunch.
Wow. Like that's a big burrito, to be honest.
Yeah.
So nothing bothers you, Danger?
I think
It's
the
time
thing
to
that
be
probably-
honest.
the thing that bothers me more than anything is people that bitch about the site dying and then complain about everything that the site changes, yet the site's more active than it's probably been in a while. I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago or last month or something that we broke how many people were online. Not in one day, but at the same time. July 2nd, so a month and a half ago.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. What was happening
I mean-
July 2nd?
I don't know, but 238 people on at the same time is a ton.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, to be honest.
It's more than what I can ever remember.
So, I mean, like, we can't get that 288 because we probably don't have as many actives, especially not with some of the retirements lately. But, I mean, people that are on the site now are extremely active, and you have people constantly complaining about the site's dying because they changed rules that have been here for 30 seasons and are dumb rules.
Yeah, at the same time, like, okay, maybe it's gonna drive away some players, but, like, players that will come in will not even know this have been changed. Like, they will just enjoy, because those rule change are for the better most of the time. So they will want to invite their friend in.
The
Yeah, I
problem
mean-
is though, and sorry to interrupt you,
Oh, you good.
Danger, but
No, it's
the
fine.
thing is that they're gonna get acclimated and kind of find their spots with their people, and they're gonna kind of adopt their worldviews. I mean, if they go into a group of people that have that strong opinion about things, they're gonna adopt that opinion immediately. So
I'm not sure everybody will because I think, again, calling out my own locker room, St. Louis is very opinionated that way. Some of the people there, and I don't think it's rubbed off on too many of the people that have come in there. At least me, I'm headstrong against it. I mean,
What change are we talking about?
I think I know what he's referencing, and I may be on the other side of the fence from him, but
But it happens, and at least everybody sticks to their guns.
as long as you can have a mature, intelligent discussion without resorting to insulting people, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, and it doesn't always end that way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the issue because, like, despite everything, not all adults are adults on that website, so.
Yeah, we have plenty of them that aren't adults in our locker room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have actual kids, and then you have adults that don't adult.
Yeah, I don't adult, so
I mean, I didn't work for 3 months in the summer because I'm still in school, so I don't care my age. I'm not really an adult.
No, you're an adult. That's not how it works. Else, I would have been an adult for so long. Well, I'm an adult, so it's been too long.
All right.
I want to go back to being a kid.
oh my god, I wish I could be a kid again.
That was a dream.
Oh, all the toys they get nowadays too.
Oh man, kids now with tablets at like 5. I'm like, what? I don't even have one. How did you get that?
It's like
You can go on whatever
Like 13.
whatever locker room you want when you're in gym.
Yep.
It's all okay. It's 2017. You can identify whatever you want.
I'm
can
a big
decide-
trash bag.
Yeah. Or you can decide to follow mom and everything. Okay, so next question.
Now that we took a half hour.
Yeah. Favorite to win the 4-star cup?
Not St.
Um,
Louis.
Oh shit.
I think it's got to be Colorado at this point if they keep playing the way they're playing.
I'm gonna go underdog here. I'm gonna go with Halifax.
Yeah, you go. That's what I
I
was
figured
gonna
they would
say.
have been a more constant choice among people. That's why I didn't say them.
Yeah.
I figured Halifax and Vancouver would be the number 2 choice, or the top 2 choices that people always say.
Yeah, Colorado are playing actually better than I was expecting to be. Like, I was expecting Vancouver to be first in the league, and they are fifth. So this is actually surprising for me to see them, to see Vancouver that low.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I did see the plus minus. Granted, that's not everything, but goal differential. I think Vancouver's head and shoulders above everybody again, though.
And they're at 0.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I must have
Yeah.
looked at an old index. All right.
Yeah,
Halifax is top at 16 and Colorado at 11.
and let's not talk about
Disregard.
who's last.
I have a good guess.
Yeah, we're at negative 16. So we have a 32 goal differential than Halifax.
Our defensemen just aren't doing it for us.
I know. We're all a bunch of
The
scrubs.
offense are not doing it.
We're all crappy.
So yeah, I think Halifax have a strong change as well as the Mammoths, and I would not be surprised to see Vancouver do a comeback.
I think Kelowna's going to start getting in there a little bit too. They're starting Thompson now instead of J-May, who's capped, and J-May's still a rookie, so I think that'll win them some more games for sure.
Okay. They were playing her like all the time, or?
I think they were switching them out pretty often,
Okay.
just to give each some fair shots.
Okay, so yeah, it could change a lot.
All right. And we all know the STHS has a lot of issues. Name only one thing you'd fix about it. In my opinion, I think they should add more advanced strategies than just numbers next to physical offense and defense.
Well, to answer for that, first of all, there is actually a way to have strategy in that game. I don't know if it's compatible with the version we're using right now, but in another version of Simon T I'm using on the PHL, we actually have coach that has tactic that improve your tactic in game. So there is a way around that in Simon T, but I don't think we're using it. What?
From my understanding too is the latest version has goalie changes or something
Oh
that
yeah, they
a
have.
lot of people don't like.
Yeah, they have actually a lot of things. Like they have like morale. They have well, like I said, the coach. So they have a few things more than we have right now.
Which I think we just can't add, so we just stick with the latest version that we can still use.
Yeah.
It'd be too much of a pain to add all that to the site.
So to answer the question, what I would personally like to see in Simon T is actually to an extent a better manual of the game to really understand what the fucking stats are doing. Because right now it's like, oh, we know that like strain kind of impact your checking and your face-off win, but to a lesser extent. And like, let's say scoring helps you to shoot more. Defense is good for positioning, both like on the attack and on the defense. But it's like everything that I'm saying right now, I learned them by like people around there. Like I cannot find a manual for CMT that explain like in detail what it's doing.
I could agree with that. I mean, it seems like everything's kind of been like somebody told me it does this, and then somebody else told me it does something else.
The
And I'm kinda
SHL
just-
thread says this.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of playing around with it. Like, I hope this does what everybody says it does.
So pretty much.
Some
like,
of it, yeah,
Go
some
ahead.
of it's really frustrating. I mean, when you build lines and everything looks just absolutely impeccable. You've got everything that you think would work well in real life, like a playmaker with a power forward with a sniper. It just seems like everything will mesh really well, and then you get absolutely no results.
Yep.
I feel like sometimes it doesn't even matter. Like whatever you have in there, I feel like you're just slapping stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm hoping this is going well. Yeah, it's not. Dave?
I mean, I've heard that like Bojo, I guess, at the SHL level in the West Kendall platoon. For those of you that don't know, he's the GM there. He literally will run thousands of sims beforehand to get an idea of the optimal lines and optimal performance of his team. Thousands.
And I ran like 20 today, and I was just like, eh.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, running lines is like,
It's so boring.
So is there anything you would change?
I've kind of let my opinion be known about it, that I don't really like how everything is very text-based. I mean, you look at that football sim, HFF, or whatever the hell it's called, NSFL, whatever the frig it is. It's got a really intuitive, and granted, there's plenty of issues with that sim engine too. There's no perfect sim engine, but it's got an intuitive visualization. And I think if we could do that to eliminate play-by-plays for people to actually watch a game, that would be so much fun and so cool and pretty engaging, I think. So
That's true, actually.
Yeah, I do enjoy the NSFL sim. Visually, I think it has way too many problems compared to the SHL sim, but that's a different argument. But visually, it's much more enjoyable to keep up with than reading a play-by-play.
I did have a conversation with Fridge about the visualization side of things, and he said that with his sim engine that he's working on, there's no indication of him being able to kind of produce something quite along that level, but he does have some plans for some game-specific live streaming type things. So I don't know what exactly he meant by that, but I'm intrigued to see what he can kind of come up with his sim.
Yeah, anything different might be better. We'll see.
So this is answer everything about Simon T. The next stop is Connor Tainer.
Actually,
What?
if we
Go ahead.
go back before my last post, Steelhead asked us some questions
Oh,
for
that's
last week.
true. Oh my god, I forgot. We're not
Can't
gonna
forget
be
my
able
GM.
to answer everyone in that podcast, man.
Yeah, we'll have to answer some more next week.
Okay, so Steelhead, Edza. Let's answer him.
With another week of games by the time you answer this, how are your teams and players doing? I think we kind of covered that one, though, so we can skip that. what do you expect for this season in the SMJHL based on early performances? So I guess what we expect out of our players.
Well, like I think we covered a lot of it while talking about like how our players are doing right now. To recap again really fast, I'm expecting my player to be more consistent. Hopefully, I can fix that out because yeah, I want to score goals, not do nothing on the ice for 20 minutes.
Preach.
I would just want more points.
Like I think everyone on your team wants 4 points.
Yeah. I mean, I want to win more than anything.
Like, if I'm not scoring, I just want to be able to lock down the other team here. That's kind of what I built here. I built a passing centerman that can shut down the other team, and I feel like I'm doing nothing that I look down.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just skate in circles on the ice and just am a non-factor completely.
You're just a Jimmy Hayes out there, but on the defensive end.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Any areas your teams need to improve to help your cup chances? I think we covered that for St. Louis pretty well.
What my team would need, Halifax, is possibly if we can sign another center. I think we only have, well, we have 3 active, but we're playing 1 on the wing. So which means if we could have a third to fill out like the third line instead of the inactive, I think on the long run it could be better for the team because it will like reach up the TP pretty fast of that inactive. Except of that, I think we have like most of the major area cover in terms of deep and actual cap players. So it would just be to make sure everyone that is not capped yet to cap before the playoff.
Yeah, should be helpful, but at the same time, St. Louis had like 7 cap forwards last season.
Yeah, that it doesn't mean anything because, yeah.
Just Colorado's gonna cast black magic on you anyway, so.
No.
There's something in the water there.
No.
Next one, question is kind of, I guess, perfect timing for our guest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's good we have an ace here.
Yeah, and it's what were your thoughts on the Mike Izzy Teddy Cuddles offseason trade for both teams, potential impact each in their new organization?
So,
well, are you? Go ahead. If you have any questions for me, I will be as open and honest as I can without sacrificing trade secrets.
Like to be honest, what I'm mostly curious about is why you went to get Teddy especially, like Cuddles especially. Why did you target this player?
Well, the fact of the matter is we were losing a winger prospect that was very, very widely regarded as a top-end prospect, and we didn't really want to lose him, so we needed to make sure we could capture something in exchange that could kind of fill that void that he was leaving. Cuddles isn't perfect, obviously, compared to Izzy, and he shouldn't take that the wrong way. He's obviously got a big kind of gap to catch up with him TPE-wise, but I really wanted him targeted in that trade because he signed with us. Obviously I'm a Bruins fan. He's a Bruins fan. He's been very, very active since he joined. He's a good kid, so I'm really, really happy we were able to get him. So that's kind of why we went after him in particular.
Did you had a chat like? Actually, no, because that would be tampering. So you didn't have a chat before trading, I guess.
Well, the good news is before the draft, I had a good idea I was going to Edmonton, so I had a lot of communication with him going into the draft, saying, hey, I'm going to put in a good word for you here. I'm going to try to get you drafted in the second round to Edmonton. But Carl believed that Downsky was the better option, which I'd have to agree in hindsight. I didn't realize Downsky would slide there. So it didn't work out at the draft, but Cuddles was very interested in playing with Edmonton and joining me, and he's actually since joined us in a head scouting role. So he's been very engaged and has bought into the Edmonton rebuild. So
yeah,
we're very
that's
happy
great.
to have him.
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the stuff behind the scenes a little bit from what I've been told from different people, so I think it was a fair trade for both sides given the circumstances. Um, like you said, Cuddles is great. I mean, I've loved him in St. Louis, so targeting him, I think, was a good choice for a young winger that is definitely going to be active. He joined late, and he's been flying up with TPE. And you got, what, the first-round pick out of it as well?
Yeah, we got the Calgary first from this season that we've since already flipped to Seattle. We actually picked up Mel for your number one goalie.
Yeah.
So that was also kind of a good little chain reaction for us there. So, that kind of mitigated some of the damage as well.
So you look at it that way as what you're getting down the line from it as well. I think it was a fair trade for both teams, and like I said, given the circumstances, and I think it'll work out really well for both teams.
We really wish Izzy all the best with Calgary too. I mean, Calgary was where he wanted to go, and we didn't want any bad blood or anything like that, so we were happy we were able to come to an agreement with Essa and the Dragons there to give him a place that he wants to play.
All right. And the last question we have from Essa is, if you owned your own deli, what would be the sandwich you named after yourself? Describe it and name it. Huh.
Yeah. This is an hard question to improvise on, to be honest.
All right, I'm jumping right in here
first.
So
go for it.
It's gonna be the Ace, and it's gonna be a full Italian sandwich with all of the Italian meats. It's gonna have a finely aged provolone on it, and it's gonna have hots and vinegar and oil and everything. It's gonna just be a fully loaded Ace sandwich right there. Bang, boom, done.
Nice. It actually sounds good. Well, I'll be honest, and I say I don't cook a lot, so I don't get to enjoy food as much as other people. I just basically eat what I have in front of me. So mine would be probably something really simple, but with a lot of flavor. Don't know exactly what would it be. But it would be something simple.
I'm feeling barbecue right now, so that's where this one's going to kind of go. But I'm going to go fried pork chop on a sandwich with barbecue sauce, french fries, coleslaw, and bacon.
No, bacon.
2 different types of pork.
Well, bacon is bacon, you know? It goes with everything.
And it could be the apocalypse.
The apocalypse. This is actually nice.
All right. So that's it for them. Thank you, Essa. And next up, we are to Connor Tanner, where we were going to go.
Yeah.
Why did I think you wanted to have a chicken parm one or something like that?
I've had chicken parm twice this week, actually, so I'm not really feeling it at the moment.
Well, I can have the chicken parm. It seems easy enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it honestly, the Essa.
Honestly, if it was there, I'd still eat it because it's chicken parm. But I'm not going out of my way to get it right now.
Okay, so Connor Tanner, Keegan, by Discord username. If you were to project a Rookie of the Year for the SMGHL, who would it be? Okay, how's the rookie going? I think he's first, so that's why he has this question.
He's actually tied, I think.
Oh, he tied.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. 2 of the Tanner brothers.
Oh, 4 of them.
Nylander and McQualis? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Well, actually, it's quite surprising that both Tanner brother are tied in the standing for first, because they are both defensemen playing on the same line. So that means their line and players are actually producing
together too.
Yeah. However, only one of them can have the Rookie of the Year. Uh, based on only like points, like I would say most likely I would give it to Connor Tainer. Just because he have more gold despite being having more points. Um, well, equal points actually. Because like in the other rookie that could catch up with more gold, the closest one is Jordan Ryder. Uh, someone's mic is kind of like doing weird noise. Yeah.
It was TDZ.
I think I fixed it.
Yeah. Jordan Ryder, which I think is bronze player, so I would not be giving it to him because he retired. Yeah, it's bronze player. Like he's the rookie with the most goal, I think.
Is this player still allowed to play? Oh yeah,
Yes.
because he
Yeah.
retired and finished the season.
Yeah, player is allowed to play as long as the user does not recreate.
I would have to go one of the Tanners as well. I was looking at the Nylander one, and
That's my buddy.
he's getting 22 and a half minutes a night in Prince George, so I'd go with the kid that has the same amount of points at 14 minutes a night.
Just keep in mind that he's also a defenseman.
I know. I mean, even the other defenseman that's tied with him is getting 19.
I'm gonna go with the homer vote and go with Zemgus Nylander. He's a buddy of mine. He was one of my recruits, and he's a young guy. He's like 16 years old, so he's been very engaged with me, asking a lot of questions. So I've helped him out a lot, and I'm so overjoyed for him to message me and be like, "Hey, I did this in the sim. I'm having so much fun. Thanks for bringing me to the site." I'm like, "You're welcome. You're outperforming me, you piece of shit."
Yeah. I mean, he's getting more minutes than me, got more points than me.
But I'm really glad just to have him being really engaged and having a lot of fun. It's good to have new first gens that are really kind of getting sucked into it. I mean, it's definitely got a learning curve, but once they get into it, it's a good time.
Yeah, I think this draft had, it obviously wasn't as deep as ours, which you can't compare it that way, but top end wise, there's a lot of rookies on here that are really involved and are really taking to the site a lot. Probably as many top end rookies as we had in ours.
Yep. It's gonna be a hard draft for you, Ace.
Yeah, it's but I mean, luckily we only have 2 firsts. We don't have any seconds, so it's going to be very top heavy. So we don't have to be really thorough with our drafting. We just need to be really, really focused on the top end. Because right now we've got the Edmonton pick, which is likely going to be a top 5 selection. We're going to go for the natural hat trick on 3 first overalls in a row. I'm not going to let Carl trade this one. And then Manhattan, who we didn't really expect to be a lottery pick. They're not doing so hot this season either, and we have their first. So we could very well end up with 2 top 5 picks this draft, which would really, really help us out in our rebuild. So
yeah, that's true.
Gotta agree
it's
there.
Gonna be interesting to see. I can't wait to see we're gonna get, and everything. So.
Like New England needs any more first round picks.
Yeah. Like I won't mind, especially if we can get another lottery pick. It turns out well. I mean,
it hurts my soul to hate New England, considering my history with them.
But sometimes you don't have a choice.
If I didn't go 10, I was going 11 there. So.
Yep, that's true.
So I was cool with it either way. I was rather ended up in Calgary. Well, I didn't know Calgary was going to trade up the last minute. I was rather ended up in probably L.A., Calgary, or New England.
For the longest time, I thought I was going at Hamilton because Carl and Izzy were kind of being a little coy with me.
I actually didn't talk to Edmonton at all because when Izzy got a hold of me, it just didn't seem like they were interested all that much. And I was just like, oh, whatever, I guess. They want to go forward, probably.
I think they were like this with a lot of players, to be honest. Like, even myself, they were like kind of like a bit distant when I was talking to them. Like, Izzy poked me 2 times, I think, about asking like how would I feel playing with at Edmonton, and I was like, yeah, I would enjoy it and everything. And then like that was pretty much it. So I think they were really just more quiet with some like players.
Edmonton's theme overall is just quiet right now, and that's the big issue. We've got a tall task ahead of us to change that perception and to be more active around the site and get more activity. So I think that's kind of why Carl added me to the fold here. So I accept my role and my job in front of me, and I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, I think it'll do fine, and I wish they all the best, but not too great, considering we're rivals now.
Yeah, I look forward to a few seasons of Teddy Cuddles beating the shit out of you on the ice.
My dude won't fight. He's the biggest pussy in the world.
I was saying that of mine, and I end up fighting like every time.
I had 6 penalty minutes last season. I have 2 right now. Unless there's a line brawl that my dude just wants to get involved in for some reason, I don't think I'm going to fight.
Yeah, I had a line brawl, and I had another fight in the preseason while I still had my fighting at 27.
Pims were the only milestone claim I got last season, other than the Lorifer Trophy. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, it wasn't great, but it doesn't look like I'm on pace to get that this year. I don't know. Tickle Biddies is keeping his gloves on, so.
I
No more fight.
got the one for going under, yeah.
Okay, next question. What has disappointed you about your teams this season? I think we talk about that enough.
It'd be
If I'm
beating a
talking
dead
about-
horse.
If I'm talking about Edmonton, it's that we've won 4 games in a row. We need to stop winning.
Oh.
If I'm talking about Calgary, then we lost 2 games in a row yesterday, or day before we won 2 more. So those 2 losses in a row are pretty low spot.
Edmonton, Edmonton, what? Yeah.
Calgary, yeah.
We're talking. No, I said Edmonton. I think you said Calgary.
Yeah.
But we're talking so much about it. I have only that word in mouth now. New England is not in the playoff spot. So yep, that's it.
Tied though. I mean.
Yeah, but like we're still not in. So.
Yeah, you just don't have the tiebreaker.
So yep, there we go. That's what disappoints me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Calgary's differential plus 30, so I'm happy.
Calgary's stacked.
Yeah, those forward lines, Randleman and Joe, both just tearing it up. Gagne. I mean, you look at like the leaderboard, and it's Calgary, Texas, and you go down a little bit. There's more Calgary. At one point last week, there was like 6 of the top 7 were all Calgary.
Next up, what has been the brightest spot for your team so far? Are we going again with the SHL?
I can't pin one on juniors, so probably.
Oh, I feel so bad. I would say New England is how well Zendergreen is performing for me. He have 13 points in 7 games, which is like good for 6 in our team. And he's a rookie. So I kind of enjoy seeing him performing so well. I think last time I checked his performance, he was top rookie. So it's actually great. Is he still? Yeah, he's still top rookie by 4 points. So that's a bright side for New England. Future is bright.
If I had to choose a bright spot out of all the bright spots in Calgary, I would say Hunter Wong at goalie. I mean, he's in regression hard. He's got like 900 or less. I think he's at 800 and something TPE now, compared to some goalies that are way up there, and he's still leading the league in save percentage and goals against. And he has 3 shutouts already.
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it leads into another question we had about goalies later that we'll probably
Yeah.
have to answer next week.
What about you, Hayes?
I've got to say I'm pretty happy with Carl's trade to acquire Theodore Cookers. Basically was acquired as an inactive, and he's since returned to the site and has been training and doing all his point tasks. So
Oh, that's
it's always good. It's always good when you trade for an inactive and they come back and be a full-time active
Yeah.
player. So
like you feel like you did a good trade because you basically were expecting to get something stable and it turns out better than you expect.
I always feel
Yep.
bad for the other GMs too, getting rid of someone that's been gone for so long, and you're like, I'm just selling it for whatever at this point, and then surprise,
I'm back. It's like, man, you could have been with us. But that's a good trade. Good job.
oh, we actually had a SMJHL and SHL biggest surprise questions.
Yeah. Well, it's not really same thing as what we answered because this is most
Yeah.
Disappointing and good. Biggest surprise on my part in the SMGHL, it's how good the low TPE goalie were performing. But this is another like topic later about goalie and TPE in general. That actually surprised me, like when Bojo starting for Montreal, like I think he had like best percentage in the league after like 5 games, and I was like, how the hell are you doing so good?
Yeah. Surprise for me, SHL is definitely, again, the goalies. I think LA's just being terrible has been a surprise. It's not really about my team, but there's not really anything bad I can say about them either. But I think everybody put LA like easy playoff contender, and they're trying to fight back now to even make it.
Yeah, that's true actually.
They're bottom of the league. Actually, I think they'd be ahead of Manhattan, which is also a lot of people put them in the playoff spot.
Yeah, so there's some teams that are not performing as well as they should, and it's actually surprising.
Definitely. All right. And then, what's your favorite Jackbox game? You two would have way more experience than me.
What's your favorite ace? Ace?
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Gotta go with Quiplash. It's a classic. I was
Oh.
muted.
Oh. As much as I don't hate Quiplash, I quite like it. The one Fibble, I think, that we played this week, and I just crushed everyone because I was making good lies. So yeah, I like that one.
I have played one game, and it was Quiplash, so that's all I have to go off of. And it was all right. I would like to try some of the other ones one day, but it's usually going on when I'm busy, like eating dinner or something like that.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't play really that much. Like there's some night that is going on all night, and then there's other that's like we play once and then everyone leave, and it's like, really guys, everyone leave?
Yeah, so I can't really judge it too much. I think I was an audience member once too, just voting on stuff. But that's not as fun. Alrighty. Think we can answer one more set of questions?
Yeah, I think. Well, if we go fast, we can actually answer like all of them. Like most of them are actually some we already talking. Like if we check Blues fan, who do you think has improved for your team the most from last season to now? On my team, quickly. Oh, that's actually hard because everyone like kind of improved at the same thing. But I would say actually Ted Glass because last season he was not doing amazing. Like, he was doing good, but this season he's on fire. So, like, he really improved on that.
If I'm going off of players, like stats wise, then I'm gonna go with Finn Jacobson, Pope, because he's already, I mean, like tied for team lead in points. I think he's like top 5 in hits in the league. So definitely his player's been playing a lot better. And then if you're going off of like their activity, then it's a little bit harder. Because I think everybody's been pretty consistent for us TPE wise. If they are getting it occasionally, then they're still getting it occasionally. And the ones that were getting it all are still getting it all.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same for my team.
So I can't say anybody's improved that way. Ace, I don't know your take on it.
I gotta say it's pretty much what you had said. I mean, there's really not much to say about St. Louis. There's, I guess, not too many bright spots so far this season. So
Yet. Hopefully, with some more TPE gain on those lines, we'll get something that just clicks finally. And let's see. How do you think the Smealander trade affected Halifax, Ebop?
I think it really helped the team. Like,
I mean, it's like top in scoring, isn't he?
yeah, Schmollander is actually top in scoring with 18 points, 9 and 9, and overall this player is doing really well on the first line. So I'm really glad we got him. Like, and Chris is actually, well, the Maze, I think, is a nickname on the forum. On Discord, he goes by Chris. He's a really fun guy to talk with. I really enjoyed talking with him and his presence in the locker room. So just by making the locker room way more fun, like, it's a really good trade. Like, both in terms of stat than like enjoying the ambience in Halifax.
Yeah. I think it's been a pretty good trade if you're looking at those stat lines. So
I don't even remember what we traded him for. I think we sent back the pick we had from PFG, I think. I don't
PGF,
even...
but yeah.
PGF, yeah. Yeah, I always say PFG, it's PGF. So it was a really good trade in the end. This one is not SHL related, so we can skip it. Next question, Ace already answered about Edmonton's future, or at least he talked about his next draft, so this is looking good for them.
Alright. We can skip the Taylor Swift one too, not SHL related.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on some rookie scrub getting named co-GM of an SMJHL team? There we go.
We covered it quickly, I think, but like, I actually really love the fact it was named despite being a rookie, because he can bring something new to the team, and he's doing it really good right now. Like, I haven't seen anything, like, any complaint, like, I see him go do trades, talk about his team and like their performance, that he's running sims and everything, so like, I think he's doing a really good job for a rookie.
I have mixed reviews on it. I'm not hating on the choice because of the person, because he's been great on the site and in Discord, and I think he'll probably do a good job, but I don't like the choice of selecting someone that's been on the site for 9 days over people that have been trying for GM positions for multiple seasons.
Yes, it's true. But also, like, something to remember is some people can't sell themselves and some people can. I've seen a fair share of application for GM because I'm in the SMJHL head office. and like you can say that some people are actually interested because they want to make it better, or they are just trying just because they want to be better.
Well, I also think it's messed up because a lot of them
Oh yeah, no,
actually
it's
probably
sure.
could not do better, but do as well and help the team in other ways, and they don't get the shot.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, I'm not going to hate on the choice. I think it's a good choice. I just think it kind of is insulting to some people that have been here longer.
I don't really have any opinions about it either way. I mean, I already kind of shared my thought about the whole thing. I mean, I agree with the danger zone. You know, I mean, there's people that are probably, I don't want to say more deserving, but have been waiting longer for their chance, and it could be construed as a slap in the face. But obviously, this person has the charisma enough to get that role, to be considered to that role, and to be, you know, obviously awarded it. So there's a reason for that. So that's really all I'll say about it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And with all the talk about goalies and goalie progression, how do you feel about them as they stand? Too random, too little TPE drain, or about right?
There's two things to I would say about that. Um, I agree it doesn't take a lot for goalie to perform well to an extent, or where it's just performing better than goalie. Like it really doesn't take a lot of TPE to be decent, but goalie always have problem in simulation where they I don't know if it's the case in SHL because I didn't analyze too much, but in some other sims run by Simon T, it's not rare to see them allowing 3-4 goal a game.
And I think that's kind of a problem with it on the version we run, is because the goal scoring is lower.
Okay.
But most of their main stats that affect how they actually play, there's like 5 of them, and if you get them into the 80s or close to 80, then that goalie is going to be phenomenal, and you could just neglect other things completely.
Yeah.
And
I think you have 3 stats that are important on goalie, maybe 4 compared to other players that have a lot more.
Yeah, 5 or 6, but I think the biggest problem with it is the update scale being smaller for goalies, so they earn the same TPE, but they can get those stats even higher, even quicker, to the point of they're just kind of, in juniors, it's pointless. I mean, if you get up to about 260 probably, and you put it in the right spot, you're just as good as the 350.
Yeah. So, yeah, they might need to check what they can do about goalie, but at the same time, you might not want to feel like you're penalizing a player for choosing a position. It's sure a player will know beforehand creating a goalie. You might have to your progression might be more slow. But at the same time, it would be in real life where goalie actually start to be good around 25 or so, while forward can be good at 18.
The other big thing, and I mean, my last player before I went active this last time was a goalie, Ace Defoe. And the big thing that people don't really realize is how boring being a goalie in STHS, especially in the SHL, can be. Because, I mean, if you get drafted to a team that has a capped goalie in the juniors, you're barely going to get any minutes. After that, you're lucky if that capped player leaves after that first year. They're probably going to be sent down again because the SHL team's going to have a capped, not capped, but like a high-end 1300 plus TPE goalie. So you're realistically, you could very well not even get real minutes until like your second, third season in juniors, and you're just going to keep getting sent down and sent down and sent down until eventually somehow your number one starter goes away at the SHL level. So it's very hard to earn minutes and very kind of discouraging and boring, and it's very easy for goalies to lose focus.
Yeah, and I think somebody said it's it was done this way at one point to kind of help with a position that was less enticing to get people to actually sign up for it. So it definitely helps that way. I can't blame the TPE as much as it is just the way that the sim works with goalies as well, because I feel like it doesn't really make a difference in goalie TPE levels based on stat-wise, as long as the team in front of them is better. And it's kind of ridiculous how you could have like a 2,000 TPE goalie and like a 700 TPE goalie, but the 700 be on like a stacked team and the 2,000 be on a garbage team, and the 700 will have better stats.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
goalie would be something that they might need to look at, but at the same time, we don't want to scare people off creating goalie because they are still important in the sim. Like,
Yeah.
like if we ever run out that like there's no goalie anymore, what we gonna do? Like, there's a limit to like having scrub goalie in the goal.
Maybe if you change the update scale a little bit, not really add a ton, but like the 80 to 90 is 5 points, where that's 8 points on the skater in that same area. Maybe raise that to like 6 points, and raise the 70 to 80, which is 2, and it's 4 on the skater, up to like 3 points. So it's just a little bit extra TPE, but they still have an advantage.
Yeah, because at the same, like, another thing with goalie is that they can fight off regression way better, because they have all their point to spend into, like we said, you spend all your point in like 3 or 4 category, and you can kind of mostly ignore the rest, so you can bank TP quicker, and like that will make you be able to like keep more TP for regression that you can just spend again after.
Definitely.
Because I see a lot of goalie like with a lot of cap TP that they just, well, a lot of bank TP they just don't spend. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
what's even the point?
I see that with a lot of players that are in regression anyways, but I do see it with goalies that aren't in regression because they have nothing to really care to spend it on a lot of times, or they don't want to mess up something that's working at the moment.
Yeah.
The capped players, though, I'll see them put it, or the regression players, I'll see them put it in the cap or in the bank, just because when they regress, they'll just take it right out of the bank, and they don't have to mess with their stats.
So I think we covered the subject.
Yep.
So, except if Ace, do you have anything to add?
No, you guys covered it pretty well.
Okay, so this is the last question. So this is it for tonight, most likely. We run a bit over the 1 hour, but it's life. Like, I prefer to answer all those questions, to be honest, than leaving like a few and then handing up, like answering them and they are outdated or something.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like S's question this time.
Yeah, like we actually forgot because he has it before, so like we almost went over it. You were good to catch it.
I'm glad I caught it. He probably would have been all over me about it.
Yeah, like, you don't like me. Why are you not answering my question?
All right. Thank you, everybody that asked us some questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ace, for joining us.
Indeed.
Of course,
thank
thanks
you.
for having me.
And next week we should have another guest. We'll have to figure out who's next on the list and if they are available. Again, if you guys want to be a guest, please get a hold of us on the site or Discord or something, and we'll add you. And we'll get to you as soon as we can.
And be sure to tune in to my soon-to-be Drive to Work podcast that I'm going to be hosting too.
Probably full of profanity, so I'm definitely going to listen.
Yeah.
Most likely. When the kids are not in the car, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Or
But if it's going to work,
yeah, if they are, it's gonna be like Ace Feet Kids. Like, it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting.
we can get some stories from the kids.
Exactly. All right, guys. Awesome. Thanks very much.
All right.
Well,
See
thank
y'all
you.
all next week.